Hey guys, my name's Mary Lily.
I'm Marshall.
And I'm Caitlin.
And we're the hosts of Unveiled Opinions.
Three newlywed girlies with a podcast on any and everything wedding related. Happy Monday, girls.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
Don't let me fool you. I'm dying inside.
Oh, I was like, what are you talking about?
I know.
Yeah.
I feel like I sounded like so happy, but I really that was
She's
a really
fantastic.
bit put
Not a
on.
happy Monday to you.
That's the most energetic you're going to be this whole time.
So don't get it twisted. I just got back from one of my best friends and my bridesmaids' bachelorette parties in New York City.
Yay.
It was so much fun, but I'm like dying and I've lost my voice. So
So it was a good time, is what you're saying.
we had a lot of fun. It was great. It was Sex in the City themed. Her brother and sister threw it. We had like a really cool brownstone in Manhattan. We went to Balthazar. We went to the club. We have bottle service. I was taking shots of Patron with no chaser, no lime. That's how wild I was.
Wow.
Caitlin's like shocked. Caitlin knows and Marshall knows. That's like not me.
I can only imagine your face as you're taking these shots.
No, I was literally
Or
fine
they're,
because
like,
I was
pouring out
so
of your
glad.
mouth.
I had like 4 martinis at dinner.
Oh, so
I
you
don't
were
think it was like
black. Okay.
doing anything to
Yeah.
me.
It could have been water for all you know.
It was
Yeah.
great.
You could only be
Really.
so lucky.
Just like on my honeymoon.
Oh my God.
So it was great. And then yesterday we woke up and I was literally still drunk and like dying inside. I popped a Klonopin for the ride home and got to the airport and I like walked in, was so out of it, but I wasn't checking a bag.
Mhm.
So I was like ready to go. All the other girls were struggling. I was like, oh, let's just get through security. Waited for all of them. We finally go to security and the girl at the thing is like,
They all say they have TSA pre-check and they left
no,
you.
no, it's worse.
Story of my life.
No, it's worse. The girl at the ticket's like, your ticket and your ID don't match. And I'm like, well, here's my passport. She's like, it still doesn't match. I'm like, what doesn't match?
Mhm.
She's like, you can go skip the line, but just like go to them, and like gave me a slip of paper.
Mhm.
Was like, go. And I was like, okay. So I left. Then I like tried to skip the line. The lady screamed at me and was like, get in the back of the line. You do not skip lines here. And I was like holding my piece of paper, like, I have a paper.
Yeah.
And she was
She
like,
told me to.
get to the back. Waited an hour. Got the woman who yelled at me. She pulls it up and she goes, honey, you're at the wrong airport. I'm like, oh my God.
Which airport did you
I
book?
was at LaGuardia. I was at JFK. And I had to get in an Uber and
What?
Wait, so which one were you supposed to fly out of?
I was supposed to fly out of JFK, but I didn't even check that morning. And like our flights, like me and Jacqueline and them's flights, all were like the same time landing. And like I literally did see them at the Charlotte
Yeah.
airport after the woman who yelled at me. Then she felt bad because then I was like, I'm at the wrong airport. I'm never going to make it. The flight was in like an hour and 20. So thank God I made it. But she was basically felt so bad. She was like, okay, there's no flights at this one. So you can't get on. You wouldn't be able to get home today. She was like, call an Uber right now. She's like, you're going to run this way, that way. And then I got in my Uber and I told my Uber and he's like, we'll get you there. And I like got there and like had time to get a pita right before I got on.
That sounds like a nightmare. I'd have a panic attack.
It
Oh my
was
God.
a nightmare. And I was
The wrong
so-
airport.
I was so hungover, you guys. My body was so sore. Like I was so out of
They're
it.
like, ma'am, you were like just not in the right place.
No, you guys, I
You're
had
an
my
idiot.
sunglasses on. I had my big headphones on.
Yeah.
I was like, just like my mouth was hanging open when she told me I was at the wrong airport. Jacqueline called me right when I'm talking to her. I'm like, you can eat my pizza. It's fine. Because I had Jacqueline give me pizza while I was waiting in that line.
Oh my God.
No, it was so bad, you guys. Like, and then we sat on the runway, of course, when we got to
Yeah.
Charlotte for 30 minutes. And I was like, thank God I'm here. But like, we don't get
Like,
off
get
this
me off
plane.
this
Like,
effing
my
plane.
body, like, oh my God. I'm
Did
getting
you book
so
your flights
old.
or did someone else book them?
I booked them, but I booked
Marshall's
them,
like, how did this
I know.
happen?
I booked them through points, so I was like clearly looking for the cheapest, like
Oh,
points
okay.
wise. So I flew into LaGuardia and then I flew out of JFK.
Oh.
So like
Oh.
I
that
didn't
is
even
confusing.
like think like
Yeah.
about it.
I
You know?
think I've only been to
Interesting.
JFK one time anyways.
Well, yeah, I was like surfing the internet
Yeah.
for like
You're
you
like,
know,
give me
the
something
best
cheap.
deal.
Yeah.
And
Well,
so
Lesson learned.
look at your
know.
ticket before you go to the airport.
I feel like I look at mine 14 times
Yeah.
because I'm always like so anxious about it. But also
I was
when you're
out of
when
it,
you're
you
like
guys. I was
hungover, it's a
wasted.
different
Yeah.
it's a different story.
Yeah. So
I'm glad you made it.
Yeah, you made it back.
no, sprinted in the airport. But like I think I feel like I haven't not sprinted in an airport in like 4 or 5
I had
years.
to sprint coming back from New Orleans and
No,
Gil
either
left
like
me.
my connection
Love that.
or
Love it.
something like he left you in a
No,
different
like,
state.
No. He like left because our flight got delayed like by 7 hours. And so
Oh.
they were like, okay, it's boarding. So I went to the bathroom and then we were headed that way. And they're like, last call and we're like, last call. This is your first call. Gil just takes off running.
Oh my God.
So then I was like, what the fuck? I was like, just leave me, I guess. And then like this little like janitor man's like, go. And all these people in the airport are like, run, girl, run. I was
my
so
God.
embarrassed.
You guys, also, even if I had to run in the Charlotte airport yesterday when I got off, I felt like
Good luck
I
getting
was
through.
in like honey. Like there were
It's
so
so
many
busy.
people. Like you
It's
couldn't
disgusting.
move.
Yeah.
Like I felt sticky just being
And
around
they
that
wanna
many
talk
people.
about that, like whatever thing, the sky thing they did.
Oh,
I'm like, no one cares about that. No
you
one
guys,
cares.
It's awful.
yeah.
Everywhere I go and I see someone with a uniform, I'm like, which way?
Same. I don't even
Because
try.
I'm like, I have no idea. There's too many
and they're
people
yelling. They're
here.
like, go to A, go to A. I'm like, oh,
Yes.
y'all just
So,
told me to go over.
that was my airport adventure.
Yeah. So
from-
none of us like the airport.
Yeah.
But speaking of the other last time I went to the airport and messed up a bunch of stuff, was going on my honeymoon when I showed up at the airport at 2 a.m.
Fun
And
times.
almost missed my flight still.
God, it's like a
But-
theme.
Yeah.
No, seriously.
It's not the airport.
It might be a you
They,
problem.
at least they let me cut the line in Charlotte. In New York, they're like, you do not cut lines here. I was like, okay, well, the Charlotte Douglas Airport, we do.
Yeah.
Like,
People are forever cutting there.
God.
so sorry.
Sorry, ma'am.
But I'm also like, why didn't the initial girl at security be like, bitch, you're at the wrong airport? Like, why did
She was not paying attention.
She was probably also hungover.
Yeah. She was like, this is not my job to confirm you're at the right place.
The best part I think is like she's like, it doesn't match. What if she wasn't talking about your name and was literally the whole time talking about the airport?
Like, what? Give me some help.
Yeah, I guess she could have been.
But then why would she like just cut?
Yeah,
Just
she's like,
cut
just
and see
go
if
to
you
the
can
other
figure
line.
it out.
Then
Because she
she's
was like, you can
she's
be
like-
somebody else's problem.
She's like, come back
Yeah.
here. I'll be right here.
She was also probably
Liar.
Yeah,
yeah, she was like, get out of my hair. Go be somebody else's
She's like,
problem.
my head hurts too much to deal with this.
I'm like, all you have to do is look at my passport. I scanned my own boarding pass. It's
Yeah.
on my phone.
Yeah, she's like, no, it doesn't match, not your name.
And I was like, she was like, I
She's
gave
like
her
too many words. I can't do it.
I gave her my passport, and she's like, "Why did you give me your passport?" And I'm like, "Oh my, I don't have the real ID yet. I like
You
just
don't need the real ID.
no. I said I just got married. I'm changing my name, so
Yeah.
She goes, "You don't need the real ID." I'm like, "Okay, well here's my ID." And then she was like looking at my IDs and my passport to make sure they matched. So that's why I'm like, I have no idea, no words. The airport and me.
I told God, I was like, I don't want to fly again for a
I
while.
need-
I just need a break.
I don't mind flying.
I don't usually, but like there's been
I
so many
really
like
do.
issues, and I don't
Yeah,
like
there's a
being
lot
in
of
the
issues.
airport.
I don't like being in the airport.
Yeah,
Once
I
we're on a
don't.
plane,
It's
I'm fine.
always delayed. The delays and the
Yes.
baggage stuff.
I don't check my
They made.
bags
Oh,
though.
I don't either.
Do-
And they made me check my bag. They're like, "Does this fit?"
Oh,
and
I
was
almost
like,
always check a bag.
Well, I like
Do
never.
better at airports.
And they made me. They're like, "Put it in here, ma'am." I was like, first of all, I'm in group 2. Why am I having to stick anything in here?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
When I was running on the plane
Yeah.
yesterday, they were like, you need to tag your thing. I said, no, I'm priority. And then they like, this thing, I think. I'm like, no, I should have room.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was thinking. It was like group 2. Like, and then they make me, they're like, do you understand why we're having to check it? I'm like, I know it doesn't fit in the thing because you made it skinnier, but like, it's literally a carry-on bag. I've never had to check that bag. And they're like, we have to check it. I was like, whatever, just.
Did they gate
Explaining
check
it
it?
to you like
Yeah.
a toddler.
Yeah.
I don't like it when they gate check it and they like fully check it. I like it when they gate check it and then they
put
give it
on
back
the terminal.
to you. Yeah.
Yeah.
But when they
Well,
like
no,
are
they
like
took it.
when they take it, it's
And
like
then you have to go to
I didn't
baggage
have to
claim.
have
Yes.
this the entire time.
Exactly. But I've been dragging this around.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Why did you do this for me for free? But I get my one bag free. But like,
Yeah. But like,
Still.
that was my only bag. I was like, are you serious? Oh,
Yeah.
anyways.
well, and that stuff scares me. Sometimes I'm like,
it's
I
not
like
going to end up where I'm going.
Well, I'm always like,
No.
I put my medicine in my carry-on and stuff, and I'll be like, okay, if you make me do this, I'm going to like literally be like, okay, I need to get my vital pills out.
Yeah. No, like I had that too. I was like, I need things in there.
Yeah.
So it has to reach my location today.
Yeah.
Did you get the stuff out before?
No.
Oh.
Because they're like, ma'am, there's a line. I was like,
this is not my problem.
After I lost my bag that one time going to Utah, I lost it and I didn't even go to Utah. My flight was just canceled. The airport took it and they lost my bag for 8 days. And I like the anxiety that gave me. I feel like now I have like all these like things I'm afraid to put in a checked bag.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Whew. All right. So traveling, so much fun. We're
Carry-on bag club.
Yeah.
That's what today's episode's about. No, I'm just kidding.
So honeymoons. We're talking about them. So where did you guys go?
I went to Barbados.
Tell us about it.
We were there for 7 days. We went to the Sandals Resort. We didn't leave the whole time. We didn't do any excursions.
It was a few months after your wedding, wasn't it?
We got married in November. We went in May. We did do a mini moon right after our wedding in Georgetown, and that was fun. I swear I pretty much slept the whole time. Yeah. It was fun. Slept and went out to eat. And then that's
really what
I did on our real honeymoon too. I just slept at the beach instead of in a really cute Airbnb. It was fun. Gil wanted to do an all-inclusive. He's never done one before, so that's what we did.
That's nice.
Yeah. What about y'all?
We went 2 days after our wedding and we did a cruise. Kyle's been on a few. It was my first cruise go about. And we went to the Caribbean. Our intended destination didn't happen because of weather.
Oh, yeah.
I slept the entire time and a lot. We did like some fun things, but
you went to Key West for like 2 days before.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah. I found out somebody who is now a family member had the flu at my wedding, and
you think you had the flu?
I
you were
threw
sick
up the entire time. Sorry, and I literally thought I was
you were
hungover.
Nauseous. Oh, I thought you wought you were a little rocky from the boat and hungover.
Well, that didn't help.
Yeah, I'm sure that.
I thought I was hungover, and I mean, there's no way that I was not like ill.
Yeah.
And so that was exciting, but it worked out because we were gone because we got married in December. And so we were gone for like a week all in, and we knew we were going to do like kind of a 1-year anniversary trip somewhere because we just really wanted to chill. And so that trip's actually coming up.
Woohoo.
I know, we were the same. At first I wanted to do like the whole Europe thing and bebop around. And then Gil was like, I don't want to plan anything. He's like, I just want to pay someone and have a place to stay. And that's it.
Well, that's really lucky for you guys.
Yeah.
Because my husband can't sit still and has to be like entertained like 25/8. And so I had to like make a mastermind plan to go to Cuba. So that's where we went to Cuba, and that's kind of why we had some airport woes. If you're going to Cuba, I would Google the guidelines, and there are some forms you need to fill out first.
Did you fill them out?
No. It's basically just like going to another country when you have COVID. It wasn't a big deal.
Yeah.
And it was so cool. But we went to like a villa over the water on like the coast of Cuba. And then we went in for 4 days. And then we went to Havana and did historical like tours in an old car for 2 days. Because my husband loves history. And then we did the mountains in Cuba and learned about stuff because like we couldn't just sit on a beach because why? I really kind of also did that to get away from going to Europe or like going super far.
Yeah.
Because I don't love air travel, as I previously stated. And I didn't want like to waste a whole day traveling kind of, or like just like the time difference and everything.
Yeah.
And
the time difference I do feel like really can get you.
It can, like
him and I
after being so tired from like wedding planning.
And him and I have been to Europe together twice. It's not like we like went without each other. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's kind of how we decided and where we went. But I feel like that's kind of how planning starts with all of it. Like you're kind of like picking the vibe of like where you want to go.
And like look at budgets and time of year and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah.
And like, did you guys want your wedding? Did you think about like time of honeymoon when you thought about like date of wedding? I feel like
No.
Yeah.
I was just
same.
trying
December was limited.
It was
the whole
low
year was
season.
limited.
It was low
Yeah.
season in Cuba, guys. There was like 20 people at this huge resort Matthew and I were at, which was kind of like nice, but like also like it was like, you know, super hot and a lot of mosquitoes were in Cuba.
Yeah.
in the middle of June.
There wasn't a ton of people at ours because apparently we went like the first week of their rainy. It didn't rain while we were there, but it was the first week of their rainy season, and the ocean's kind of choppy at that point.
That was, I think, what ours was like, and it wasn't bad though. Like we got in the ocean and it was fine, but just every afternoon there was like a crazy thunderstorm, and then right after it would be like mosquito central.
Yeah.
But it was good. But yeah, I feel like deciding if you want to be active, and then like if you are doing Europe, I think a lot of people do like push it off, like Caitlin said, like to a time when you're not like exhausted, like mentally, physically, and financially from a wedding.
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, I couldn't have imagined leaving 2 days after and going on like a full adventure.
Yeah. No, I kind of just don't think, I feel like I would have regretted it. Like the timing of it, I would have had fun, obviously.
Yeah,
but
you would,
like,
because you wouldn't know any differently.
Yeah, but then I feel like I would be so tired those first probably 2 days that
I but our first day we woke up at 2 a.m, which was awful, like I said, and got to the airport. And our travel day was like long, so we had to fly to Miami, and then our Miami flight to Havana got pushed out. And then checking into Cuba was a little bit of a cluster. They don't really have a great system.
We had to do some weird paperwork for Barbados too.
Yeah,
and it was like the smallest airport.
So it took us a while at the airport, and then it took us a while to drive out to the resort. So when we got there, we went to bed super early and got a good night's sleep, and I feel like I was fine.
Yeah.
But I had to get out of the country after my wedding, desperately.
She was on the run.
I was it was
at least with groom in tow.
I was like, I need people to not be able to reach me. I want to go to Cuba where you can't even get on Snapchat.
Literally, it was so quiet that week for me.
Yeah, just some odd random text messages
that
really had no idea. But that's same.
But I guess that's kind of like how it is normally.
Yeah, it's not a huge difference.
So what was y'all's budget? Like, I know usually traditionally, we've talked about this before, the groom or the groom's family kind of pays for it, but how did you guys work that out, or what were some factors in kind of coming up with your budget? Not like, what was your budget?
I told Gil I wasn't paying for it. And
decided.
That's one way to do it.
Yeah. And since he had lots of opinions on where he wanted to go, I was like, okay, well, you can pay for it. So it worked out. I'm actually shocked that he wanted to do tropical because he doesn't like the beach. But his was more like he wanted all inclusive because he wanted to pay for it like months. Like I think he did 2 installment type things. So he wanted to just pay for it.
And then there's no surprise at the end.
Yeah. The only thing we had to pay, I think, was like tips or something.
Yeah. Right.
So he wanted that relaxation part of it. He did give me a budget at first to work with. And I was like, this is minuscule, for what you want.
You're like, all right, you find it then.
Well, I was like, for what you want, you're not going to be able to get this all include, all the things you want.
Right.
And he did talk to his friends that had gone on honeymoon, been on honeymoons before, and they're like, yeah, you're going to have to up your budget. And he was like, oh, fine. Yeah. But then he wanted the villa, by yourself. So we did that, and we only did a week because there's no way I could have got more off from work. He could have, but I couldn't have.
Yeah.
And then, that would, so since we only did a week, I feel like we kind of got nicer.
Yeah.
So that's how we decided it. Well,
right.
I decided it, but
with Gil's credit card in hand.
We did use miles for the flights. So that helped. I think we maybe had to put some towards it, but I don't think so.
Yeah.
It's like,
well, it's good.
Yeah. And then that's how we decided. So,
yeah. We didn't really we started looking at options, and I was like, these are the upgrades I want.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay.
Yeah.
Caitlin keeps Kyle in the know.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, here's how much it's going to cost. Mm-hmm. And it was pretty simple. I mean, we elevated, or we upgraded to
elevated.
I don't.
Caitlin's vocabulary.
We
It's Monday.
upgraded to like where we had concierge and like VIP access because it was a cruise and and like the drink levels and stuff. Not that I really ate or drank, but
so thin.
So skinny. Good luck finding that waist.
And so I mean, he didn't really like start off being like, here's what you have to work with. I was just kind of like, okay, well, this seems pretty like
reasonable.
Like we're getting nice flights, like we're getting a nice hotel. We stayed one night in Miami. I was like, we're getting a really nice hotel here. Like, I don't know.
Right.
There was no fight. Thankfully.
I feel like looking back on it, planning the honeymoon was a lot like us planning the wedding. I had no idea about anything. He had no idea. We just decided on what we wanted and we're like, here we go.
Yeah. Instead of saying pink and blue, Marshall said tropical, all inclusive.
Butler, give it to me.
Yeah.
We did want one that had good food. I do remember that. So I read a lot of reviews and stuff. And there was a lot of good food. Ours was also a newer resort. And it was right next door to their sister resort. So we had access to both of them. And so like we had even more restaurants. We ate a lot of food while I was there.
Oh my God. I ate so much food, you guys. We could order, there weren't a lot of food options in Cuba. Well, like obviously. And we knew that going down there.
Right.
But there's a lot of history in Cuba. It's really interesting and beautiful. But I won't go into all of that. But so we were like willing to like make some concessions, but also like it really was budget friendly going there. One thing is we could only pay with cash. Like none of your credit cards work. So like the cash we brought was the cash we had, which was nice. We used a lot of wedding cash. So it was nice that we had some on hand. So we didn't really have to worry about that. And that's like what we used for the majority of that for. Which was nice. And then the rest of it, Matthew's paying the majority of it. I said I would help some because I really kind of just picked whatever I wanted and planned the whole entire thing. And I didn't ask Matthew a single question. The whole time I was like, Matthew, like, is this the best day of your life? Like, because he had no idea. You know what I mean? We had the first place we stayed was like a resort, and it says it's not all inclusive, but I think it's like, I think it is though.
Yeah.
I like think it's because it's a Kapinski and they don't want to say that they have an all-inclusive in their brand. I don't know why, but like that was really the only option. It was like, do you want breakfast included or just dinner? I'm like,
obviously.
You know what I mean? It was like, I forget what the options were, but it was like you basically had to like pick one when you were doing it. But it was nice. Like the liquor was really nice and stuff, which was nice. And then the food, I could order spaghetti by texting someone. So that really was great.
The texting, having the cell phone really was my favorite.
WhatsApp.
It was WhatsApp. They gave us like these cell phones to like charge. We had like literal cell phones that they gave us. And they were just like, just text. And they programmed we had like 3 butlers and they programmed their numbers in. Text us anytime you want anything.
Marshall said,
"No,
it was so
You're
nice.
going to delete my number."
But also,
you're going to hate me.
We had a little villa that was like out on a dock too. And I kept being like, bring a bottle of white wine, bring bottles of white wine. And then they kept bringing bottles of white wine with no bottle openers and no wine openers. And I'm like,
they're like,
I need a bottle opener. And I'd be like texting them frantically. And then they'd call me back and like, or bring a like beer bottle opener that had no corkscrew on it. And I'd be like, the language barrier is like killing me. And I'm pretty good at Spanish. And I was like, what are you not getting?
Then.
And they also like, didn't have any lighters, whatever. A lot of things going on. Because we were smoking cigars. We had to like sometimes the bartender would be like lighting a cigar that we just like bought. That's like one of the things we would have to buy. And he would be like, all right, let me see if someone in the lobby has a lighter. We're like, this is a cigar bar.
Like you don't have one.
But it was great. Cuba was amazing. Also, kind of how I picked Cuba was I knew Matthew wanted to go to somewhere historical, and I looked a little bit into Puerto Rico. But I also just started like picking tropical locations and putting in their airports little initials from Charlotte and looking at flights and finding cheap flights because like the flight to Cuba was not bad.
Yeah. Well, that's smart.
Yeah. So that's like also kind of how we landed on Cuba.
Because like who wants to spend a lot of their budget on a flight?
Right.
I mean,
the average American honeymoon is usually about $5,000. A mini moon can be 28. Oh my God, to 35,000.
For a mini moon?
No, sorry.
Or for like a luxury.
2,800 is the mini moon, and then a luxury is 35 grand.
I have no idea how much our mini moon was.
Marshall said, not my problem.
I think my mom found the Airbnb, sent it to Gail. I was like, book it. Because I mean, I was like, you didn't have to pay for an engagement ring or a wedding.
Yeah.
A wedding you wanted.
You doubled down
so
on the
mean.
honeymoon.
Yeah, well, he wanted to do a mini moon. He's like, I don't want to go home. And I was like,
that's funny.
That was why I needed to go. I was like, if you made me go to work after this,
exactly,
I would have really killed someone.
I would have been. Yeah. I just feel like it wouldn't have felt like. I mean, I know people do it all the time, but I just feel like for me, I needed
a little bit of a break from reality.
Yeah. Where you can relax and sleep and not have to deal with home for a couple of days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's also it's just a break. I mean, it's like you and your now husband being able to talk about the wedding and relive so many fun memories.
Right.
And it's just a break from reality of before you go back into I was still processing the wedding on the honeymoon of oh, do you remember this?
I agree.
There was so much that had happened. And then it was if I didn't have that time to literally process, I feel like I wouldn't have.
In a bubble. You're in
for sure.
Yeah. You're not I know Caitlin's you're out of the world, but it really feels like you're in a bubble with your partner to kind of
it's nice.
Just to nothing's really getting to you. But
I
got my wedding photos during my honeymoon, which was exciting, but I also wish I kind of didn't. I looked at them so much.
We got our preview the last day of the honeymoon. And I'm glad that it
right.
I mean, I was checking.
Yeah, I was checking too, and then when they came, I was like, "This was not good," but it was great.
Yeah.
I don't want to get too harped on that,
but it was it was nice.
I just remember getting everyone's tagged photos of me. You know what I'm saying? People posting on social media and the tags and just going back and looking through all of those. It was just fun. I feel like me and Gail just laid in bed and scrolled.
Yeah,
for in the morning, and then we're let's go get coffee. And it was just so nice. If I I'm saying, if I had to go back to work, I just it wouldn't have felt special.
Yeah.
No,
I agree.
Because
just laying around.
Yeah,
I ate so much. Well, when I was eating pizza and French fries.
When you weren't throwing up.
Yeah. They called the carbonara Alfredo with bacon. I was like, can you bring me another Alfredo cone bacon?
Oh my God.
Can you believe I ate so much cheese in Barbados and it didn't make me sick at all. It was so nice. I know. I ate pizza.
Living it up.
I know.
You love pizza. Marshall really loves pizza,
I do.
You guys.
So being lactose intolerant is hell on earth. Vegan cheese is not the same.
Okay, so the purpose of honeymoons is really it says for some cultures, so maybe in some honeymoons it's different. For America, are a time to become intimate or relax, create a memorable experience, and adjust to married life.
So some of those girls lose their V card on their honeymoon.
Okay, some girls do.
That's what I'm saying. Sexually intimate.
But it's a time when you're alone with your husband for an extended period of time, and it's really weird. You're not in trouble, you know?
What?
You don't feel guilty at all
for being alone with your husband.
God couldn't even be mad at you.
Oh,
God,
got it.
You don't have to leave room for Jesus.
Yeah,
got it. Yeah, caught up.
He was what the F are you talking about?
Yeah, you're you don't have to feel guilty. I'm
sorry, it's just a Catholic guilt.
Caitlin's I never felt that a day in my life.
No, I thought you were just talking about being alone with your husband. I was
sorry, I'm Methodist. We didn't have that sort of guilt.
You feel guilty hanging out with Matthew by yourself these days?
Fondly.
Yeah, no, I think it is. It's such a special time to just be together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I felt it was really cool and to experience something new. We went somewhere that both of us had never been. So that was kind of cool, to be experiencing it all at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that. All the shared memes.
Yeah.
We bought a bunch of stuff to be look, we got this on our honeymoon.
Yeah.
So that was fun.
Yeah, it is fun.
Mm-hmm.
Any last thoughts on honeymoons? I mean, you can really do whatever you want. I know.
You don't. You can
find whatever you want for your budget, like Cuba. Like I got to stay in a waterfront, its own pool in the ocean with a butler for way cheaper, and I didn't have to change time zones.
Yeah. And there's also like, if you want to do all inclusive, you don't have to even leave the US. I looked at a bunch that were in the US too. Like,
oh, really?
There's some in Florida. Like a girl I knew, she went to one in Florida that was like super nice because she didn't want to,
right,
deal
with
that.
like
and
getting,
Yeah. And if you don't want tropical, there's ones like
or Airbnbs,
out
like
west,
you said for your honeymoon. Like Airbnbs are so much.
Yeah, we stayed downtown and it was so cute. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like there's so many options. You just have to, in my opinion, if you're not going to get like a travel agent or something, you just have to put like in the time.
You guys, I put in a lot of effort into Cuba. Like it took me a really long time.
Yeah.
That's why I reminded Matthew every day to be grateful when he woke up there.
Oh my God. I can't imagine.
He probably rolled over and went back to sleep.
Yeah,
you
he's
guys,
like,
every day, it was probably before we went to bed where I was like, was that like amazing?
The best day of your life?
Like, you're welcome. You had no idea that day was about to happen.
Just wait till tomorrow.
Yeah.
No, we were like, which bar do you want to go to tomorrow?
Yeah.
What restaurant are we going to?
So we had like down to the minute. At one point when we were at the resort, Matthew's like, you can really calm down. Like
you like don't have to.
Because I was like, we're going to finish snorkeling and then we'll go to the pool swim up bar. And I was like, and we'll have lunch there. And then I was like, Matthew, there's a storm. He was like, it really doesn't matter if we're at the pool swim up bar or not. Like
we can reschedule. It's not the end of the world.
We can reschedule.
Rain check.
He's like, we're not like, there's not a crowd we're fighting.
Yeah, literally. I know. So there's lots of options. You just have to be willing to put in the time unless you want to be bougie and pay someone to do it for you.
Yeah. Which is
Jelly,
also a really cool option.
You def should.
We're doing that for Italy and
we're doing that for
10
Iceland.
out of 10.
Yeah. Not trying to, I don't know anything about Iceland.
Yeah.
Well, it's hard when it's a different language too. Well, is Iceland a different language? Italy is. But
is Iceland a different language?
I have
They
no
speak
idea.
English there. They might speak something else, but
You'll be speaking English.
yeah. English words coming out of this mouth. I'll be polite though. I won't be loud.
I won't be loud.
Is that what they say about Americans, that we're loud and annoying?
Yes. Okay. Being in New York this weekend was so nice to be around. Like we were in Saks for a minute and there are all these people who are from other countries.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm the American here. Like I'm finally cool. Like, cause whenever you're in like whatever Europe, you're like, oh my God, these awful Americans.
I know.
And I was like, you came to my country.
Oh my God.
We're winning in the Olympics.
We're winning.
Oh my gosh. Did y'all see that Australian breakdancer?
Oh my God. You know, I was watching it live.
Mind blown.
God. I
It
can't
was
believe that it's
intense.
over.
It went on for
I
a
feel like
long
it
went
was
on for a
forever
long
and a
time.
day.
Well, just like
Matthew-
today, I like was like unpacking and it was like afternoon. I needed a brain break and I was like, what will I put on? Not the Olympics.
Oh my!
Because they would
thank
just put
God,
it on
you
in
guys.
like the background.
No,
Yeah.
Matthew would
Everywhere
have
you go,
it
But
it's
on.
now
on.
I was like, what
Yeah.
do I do?
No, Matthew had it on 24/7. If we were doing anything, he'd be like, "Let's watch the Olympics." We were like rewatching the highlights of the Olympics, like all the YouTube specials, all the Peacock specials. I'm like, Matthew, enough Olympics.
That's a lot.
That literally could
I was
not
like,
be
I'm
me.
so sick of
No.
it, and I really love the Olympics, but I was like, I'm sick of hearing about it.
Yeah.
Stop.
Well,
I mean, you saw how excited I was at the beginning of the Olympics, Kate,
Yeah.
and the tides have turned.
it's run its
Matthew
course.
ruined it.
Matthew really went into
No, it feels like I just like the Winter Olympics more. I was like, you are full
you
of
guys,
lies.
I think I'm going to go to the Winter Olympics next time. It's in the Italian Alps.
Well, Gil's brother was supposed to go. He was supposed to be in Paris for the Olympics, but apparently they're going a couple months. But I feel like I know so many people that are there right now. But
I
like,
was
so many
shocked
people.
by how many people I knew that were there.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, that's what you wanted to do?
I want to go to the Olympics.
Yeah, but like I just feel like it's not like on my bucket list. Like
Oh
if
my
someone
God, it
like
for sure is
comes,
to
if
go to an
someone's like,
Olympic
do you want to go to the
event.
Olympics? I'd be like, sure. But I would never be like,
I want to like pay for this, but
No,
Yeah,
I
that's
for
what I'm-
sure.
Marshall's
will.
like, I don't pay for anything.
I was like, well, I try to not pay for anything.
Yeah.
I can get
So-
away with it.
oh my God, I'm going 100p. But also, I'm like, Snoop Dogg, are you like broke? Like, why are you such
Yes.
a sellout? Like,
But then it's
literally,
like-
he's funny. I like it, but like, why can't I get away from him?
Why is he at things I never thought he would be at?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, I don't need my grandma to think Snoop Dogg's funny.
Also,
know,
how does he look the same age?
I'm like,
for
your
40
publicist
years?
needs to take a nap, and so do you. Stop working
God,
so
I
much.
cannot imagine. I would be so tired.
I feel like in the Snoop
And
Dogg
then he
and Martha
got back
Stewart.
to America and did the concert.
I have
for
been to
the
a Snoop
closing.
Dogg concert though, and it was really good.
I'm excited for the LA games. It like looked cute, but I'm not going to go to LA for them.
You're like, not on my bucket list.
I've been to LA without the Olympics and it was
Foul.
fine.
JK, if we have any listeners there, we love y'all.
Okay. So today our little game is, well, I guess I don't really have a little game, but I have top wedding destinations. And, I mean, not wedding, honeymoon destinations.
Forgot what we were talking about.
I know. And you guys can guess and I'll give you hints.
Please.
I'll tell you about the place and I want you to guess.
Okay.
Okay, this is number 1 on the list and it's known for overwater villas and
Maldives dives.
Yeah.
Is it whatever?
exactly.
Yeah. That's all you had to say.
That's what I went for in Cuba was Maldives.
I know.
I don't know.
I hear it differently every time someone says it.
Okay, this one you're like on a boat and there's like mountains around you and they're speaking another language and you're eating
Croatia.
pasta with seafood.
Italy.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
where in Italy?
Venice?
No.
What's it called? Positano.
Yeah, the Amalfi
Oh,
Coast.
Amalfi Coast.
Caitlin, you better brush up on this stuff.
I know. That's where we're going.
Okay. This one, it's kind of like one that you guys wouldn't really guess, but Love Island just filmed there. So, like, maybe people are going to.
Was it season 6? Was it Fiji?
No, never
Oh.
mind. Love Island didn't film there. It's Thailand.
LOL.
All right. And that's number 3.
Alrighty.
The other one is all white buildings and mountains. And I've heard there's a lot of stray cats.
Greece.
Santorini.
Yes.
Donkeys.
I
Yeah.
rode a donkey, but apparently that's bad.
The other one is a place where people go, like Eat, Pray, Love, I think was there. No, I don't think that's right.
Well, I don't
But
want to say
think-
Israel. It's not
That's
it.
not it at all.
Not it.
Think like of like that vibe.
India.
Close. Indonesia, Bali.
Do you mean close? Like they're the same letters?
Oh, I meant-
Yeah, like-
yeah, that's what I meant. The same letters.
And I got called dumb. Wow.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
this
People are gonna
next
think
one
we're
is-
so stupid.
Where are Kyle's from?
Kansas.
No. Where's
Redheaded
Scotland.
Ireland. Oh,
Scotland?
sorry, guys.
I was like,
Kansas.
It's a honeymoon test.
You don't know. Someone might want to go there.
Okay, on to the next one. This one is European. It's like near Africa and Spain.
are you sure?
Portugal?
Have you looked at a map?
Yes, Portugal.
Yeah, Portugal.
Yeah.
I want to go to
I want to go
Portugal.
there too. My dad and my brother loved it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've heard it's really cool. This one, the name, you say it twice.
Bora Bora.
Yes.
It's like Bali Bali.
We already did that.
I know.
This one surprises me. Like Harajuku, like maybe Gwen Stefani would go there for her
Somewhere like
honeymoon.
Tokyo.
Yeah.
Gwen Stefani.
Caitlin went to this place.
The British
Bahamas.
Virgin Islands.
It said
Oh.
it's Grenada, the Caribbean.
Grenada.
Grenada, my bad.
You went there?
No.
I don't know if she
Why did you say
the Caribbean. I have no idea.
I know someone who went there for their honeymoon. There's the sandals there.
Ah,
Yeah.
Okay, the next one's Rome. Then
Oh, thank you for the
12
hint.
is Costa Rica, and then Mauritius. Mauritius, they go a lot in Europe.
Ah,
They went a bunch on Made in Chelsea. If anyone watches that show, shout out.
I did
14,
not.
Paris, France. I would not make my honeymoon the Olympics though.
no. But I
No.
thought it was your bucket
Okay,
list.
that was Condé Nast. It is my bucket list.
It's just not for the honeymoon.
Yeah, and
Mm.
like I want to like when I'm like watching the
Different vibe.
Olympians, like I'm just gonna be so like emotionally in it.
and not emotionally.
Not into your
Matthew.
husband.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like paying attention to
You
like,
don't have enough like
Yeah.
emotional capacity. I get that.
yeah, like I'm just gonna be there for America and like
Not for Matthew.
not my marriage, but Matthew will be there.
In the background,
Yeah, driving me around.
paying for things.
All right, girls. And that's that on that before I lose my voice.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Like, follow, subscribe.
Happy honeymoon.
Unveiled
Honeymoonin'.